Welcome to this edition of the LinkedIn Local Caribbean. We're here to talk about content. We're going to give everyone a few minutes to join us, and then we're going to have the auspicious Juma tell us what to do, because sometimes that's important. So we're just going to give some folks 2 minutes, and then we'll get into the session. So our session will be recorded today, just letting everybody know. No one's face will show up, but we will have the link uploaded to the YouTube channel, which is located here under the AC Marketing Caribbean YouTube page, which is the company that so graciously puts time and effort in these events. Shout out to Paula who organized this one today, and there's a playlist that you can just head over to check where the LinkedIn local events are, which is on the LinkedIn Local Caribbean live sessions, as well as you can check out the Live from the Caribbean podcast, which is something that's available on all platforms. If you have Google Podcast, Apple, Spreaker, as well as you can actually listen to it on the website. In addition to that, if you want to volunteer, that's self-explanatory. This button here, just click that and it'll take you to some options as to what it means to volunteer with the team. If you want to build your network, meet new people, show off your skill sets, this is the best place to do that. I do have some applications that I need to review, and I'm going to do an upcoming event just to showcase what the benefits are for that. All right. So let's get into it. Good night, everybody. Welcome again to the LinkedIn Local Caribbean event. We are global because at the end of the day, when we started this 3 years ago, we were in person. Unfortunately, you know, there's this thing that happened. And here we are able to actually connect the dots no matter where you're in the world. You can get access to these resources. So thank you so much for joining us today. We are joined by Juma Bannister. He is the host of the Useful Content Creation show. It is on LinkedIn, but I believe it's on other platforms. Juna, correct me if I'm wrong. Or is it just on LinkedIn?
No correction neither. It is on other platforms as well.
Okay, great. So he talks, I mean, it's self-explanatory, right? The useful content creation. But today we want to talk about it in the context of entrepreneurs, because as an entrepreneur myself, sometimes you need somebody to be like, hey, you need to do this. Based on a true story, because I knew this event was happening, and I literally pulled out my tripods that I haven't used for a while because I have content to create on my things to do list for a couple of months now. So I think this will be an ideal event for us to be motivated and to get the insight into what you need to do from a technical perspective. As somebody who has been managing brands online across the Caribbean and the world, video is actually no longer a choice. It is the best way to reach your customer. As an entrepreneur, you want to really reduce that space between you and your customer spending money. So we are going to hand it over to Juma, who is going to, I guess, have his own little introduction. Are you going to have your introduction? Is there anything else you want to share?
Not really. I mean, I think people care more about what I have to say than who I am. So.
All right, yeah. Cool. And you're sounding clear and very melodious. So if you want to just share your screen again. So let's start that.
No worries. Let me do that. Share my screen. Is that working?
I think it's taking a bit to come up.
Okay, let me know.
I'm just seeing JB, and this is what I'm seeing. I think it might be taking some time.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not getting that. Can you try that again?
Sure, no worries. Let me try and share it again. Stop sharing. And let me go ahead and share one more time. Grab the screen right here and try one more time.
Oh, there we go. Success.
Perfect. Just like it's supposed to be. Nice. All right. So very good evening, everyone. I am Juma, but I'm not going to bore you with that. Okay, so why should you create content as a video content in particular as a business owner? Well, at the end of the day, today, you're going to know some very specific things. You're going to know what is video content. That's very important to know. What is that? You're going to know reasons why video content is important as a small business or an SME. And believe me, it is important. I'm going to run through some reasons why that's important. I'm going to try to keep it real simple so you can grab it real quickly. But that is something we have to go through. We're going to look at the easy way to start making your own video content. We're going to take something that is very complex and break it down into small, very easy to understand kind of steps. So you can take that away as well. All right, so let's get into it. So let me paint a picture for you before we get into the main thing, and let me explain to you how all of this video hype came about. So before the internet was a thing, I mean, I used to work in advertising back in the day, so this is something I interface with. Before the internet was a thing, large companies used to put out ads, and they used to broadcast to everyone because anyone could basically look at TV. So you used to have your TVs, and then you have the antenna running on top of your house, and you hope you get good reception. And video content was essentially done for the masses. And as a result, it was called mass marketing. It used to go out to everyone, and it was called mass marketing. But there was a kind of a problem with mass marketing. In mass marketing, you couldn't be really targeted about who you showed your content to. And so you had to create this video, this content, this commercial, whatever it was, and hope that your customers were seeing it. And doing that was really very expensive. Creating the videos, which took a lot of production. And in those days, you had to hire a company because it was specialized. And placing the video was expensive too. It would cost upwards of hundreds of thousands of dollars, depending on the campaign you wanted to run. And so that was a big deal long ago. So as a small business, you just couldn't compete with mass marketing, right? But then things changed, right? In the 90s, the lovely internet came along, and so everything changed, because now not only do we have a place that we can put our videos in terms of social media platforms and things of the like, we can also create videos very cheaply. Video content creation, hardware and software is more affordable than ever. And in some cases, like, your software is virtually free, right? And in addition to that, we can know our customers even better now. And if we know them well, we know what they like, we know where they hang out online, we can create the video content that is specifically targeted towards them. What the cool kids like to call direct marketing, right? And so video is one of the ways you can do that very easily. So the entire game has essentially changed. Now you, as a small business, have access to direct video marketing, and you can compete and be successful in the same arenas as big businesses using video content. And if you take nothing else away from what I'm saying today, take that one thing away, that video is an equalizer. Video is an equalizer. You're competing in the same space. As a small business, you can compete and be successful using video. Video is an equalizer. So now that we set that platform, let's get into some more of the nitty-gritty things that we came to talk about today. So what is video content? Let's talk about that. And we also want to talk about, well, why is it so great? People are making a big hubbub about it. Why is video content so great? So studies have shown that people tend to remember things better when they see them, and as opposed to hearing them only. There's a good retention rate when reading as well, but seeing something has proven to be something that is very, it burns the thing in people's minds. And video is a combination of both images and audio. Video is a combination of both images, moving images at that, and audio. It activates both sight and hearing simultaneously. So the nature of video is such that it has an engagement advantage straight out of the gate. The delivery of sound, which is like music, your voice, your sound effects, and images like color, text, photography, and graphics together is really a winning combination for getting attention, keeping attention, and getting engagement. So having video gets attention, it can keep attention, and it can foster engagement. When used well, when video is used well, it makes you more memorable. When video is used well, it makes you more memorable. And at this point, you might be saying, well, Juma, that's just your opinion. That is just your opinion. Video isn't that important. I can survive without video. And you're like, well, this has been a loss. What have I come here for? Well, I'm happy to report that it's not just my opinion. Social media trends actually back this up. So this guy here, this guy on screen right now, his name is Adam Mosseri. He's the head of Instagram. And in 2021, he announced that Instagram, our beloved Instagram, that we used to put all of our breakfast and lunch pictures on and do our leg shots when we were at the beach, our beloved Instagram is no longer a photo sharing app. I remember when Instagram first came out, the actual photographers were crazy over it. And you know, the history of Instagram is long and is a long history, but when it went to that phase where it was actually sharing images, photographers were crazy over it. Now, the head of Instagram is saying, well, this is no longer a photo sharing app. So if Instagram is no longer a photo sharing app, what has it become? So Adam Mosseri said the company is looking to lean into entertainment and video after seeing the success of YouTube and TikTok. So Adam Mosseri is looking across at what's happening on the other platforms. He's seeing something happening. And he's saying, you know what? This thing that we have taken all these years to build on the back of photographers is now leaning in a particular direction. And let me tell you, when you see platforms are doing a particular thing, they're leaning a particular way, then you have to begin to consider they have to know what they're doing because they're all about the coin, they're all about the money. And if they feel that a trend is going to be going in a particular direction that will allow them to capitalize on it, they know what they're talking about. They've done the studies, they have the data. So if they're leaning in that direction, it's a good signal for you to now say, well, maybe I should begin to invest some of my time, some of my resources, some of my content creation energy into the place that these platforms are leaning into. And so it's important for us to remember that where the platforms are going, they're going to give favor to the thing that is important to them. And so that is what Instagram is doing. And that's like a mirroring of all of the other platforms, all of the other significant platforms that are out there today. And if you're a business owner in 2022 and you are not using video as part of how you get in front of your customers, your new clients, and grow your business and build brand awareness, you are effectively sabotaging your growth. And you're losing out on the fastest growing, most effective marketing tool and engagement generation system. You're losing out. If you're not using video, you're losing out. Money is flying away because the places that you're going to put your content is preferring this type of content. And so it's in your best interest to do that as well, to lean into the thing as well. And again, you have to remember that video is an equalizer. A small business can compete and be successful using video content. And I want you to remember that a small business can compete and be successful using video content. So let's talk a little bit about why, the reasons why video is important for small business. Let's look into that a little bit because I know you might be wondering, well, what's the deal with that? Why is a video important for a small business? Although we've kind of touched on this already, let's go deeper into it. All right, let's just suppose you're a person, you open up a small business, you're an entrepreneur, you're somebody who is starting off at a particular place, And it could be in almost anything. We see the nice faces of the people here representing all different sorts of industries. You could be starting off in anything, any industry. And so suppose you starting this business, you do all the necessary things. You have a cool business name, and hopefully that business name is registered. You set up your business bank accounts so that you keep your personal accounting, your personal finance, and your business finance separate, because if you're a smart business owner, you will do that. And you also pay yourself a salary as the principal of the company, because if you're a smart business owner and you want to build your company in a particular way, you will pay yourself a salary as the CEO or the business owner, whatever that is. So hopefully you're doing all those things. And of course, you have to have a system to track your income and your expenses and all of those lovely things so that you know how much money you have in the bank and you can put aside money to pay your taxes. You know how much taxes you have to pay. You have all those things covered, no doubt about that. That is not a problem. You're doing all that already, right? And of course, without a doubt, you must have an excellently written business plan that you're never going to use. That is also mandatory. But then, even if you've done all that, you have a problem. And the problem is, how are people going to find out what I sell? How are people going to find out what I sell? And the answer to that, my friend, is you need marketing, right? So you need marketing. Now, we all know that in a formal sense, marketing is all of the activity you do to take your products and services to the market, right? To a place where people can buy them. But in this instance, we're just going to refer to marketing as the promotion of your products and services. So let's just say that you want to promote your products and services so people can see it, people can know it exists, and that people can buy from you. And you're looking around the place and you're like saying, well, where can I market? And you say to yourself, well, you know, all of those social media platforms across there, they are free. Let me go and market there. They are free, right? Let me go and market there. Let me go and put something out there and hope that people see it and all those different things because they're free, right? But then you encounter the problem of, what should I actually put? And there are many options for what you could put. You could put video possibly. You could put photos. You could put audio. You could put text. And all of those things might be useful. But you do have to sit down and ask yourself, which would be the most effective for your business and what content format can your business not do without? What will be most effective for your business and what content format can your business not do without? And so you could ask yourself many questions to determine the answer to that. You can say, well, how can I show people what I do? You may have a business that has a process. How can I show people what I do? Because we know that showing is better than telling. If you show someone something, is more convincing than just telling them about it. And you could ask yourself the question, well, what would be the most engaging content format? What might grab people, might get their attention, and will keep them and allow them to understand what I do and come back often? What content format will do that? What type of content will do that? But you know what? There's a much bigger question you have to ask yourself. And the much bigger question is, what type of content is accepted, supported, and more importantly, promoted by every single relevant social media platform existing today? And the answer to that question, the content format that does that is video. It is video, without a doubt, undisputed. That is the content format that platforms like. Up to today, I was talking about that. Is the content platform. Video is the content format that platforms like. And you know what we could say that? We could say that like video is the preferred language of social media today. Every type of content has a renaissance. You know, one time blogging was really popular. You know, we had the photos and the text, and now like video is having a particular surgence on the social media platforms, and people are leaning more into that. It's the preferred language of social media today. And of course, it is in your best interest to learn and speak the preferred language of the platforms. It is in your best interest as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, to learn and speak the preferred language of the platforms. Because if you are speaking the language, they're going to like you. If you're speaking the language, they can get benefit from it. If you're speaking the language, which is video, then they're going to find ways that they can make money from putting your content there. So video is the preferred language of the platform. And as a result, more video could lead to potentially faster growth and a more stable business. More video could potentially lead to faster growth and a more stable business. And I've said all this, and you probably will wondering, well, why? You might ask yourself, well, why do these platforms like video so much? What's in it for them? What's the big brain play here? What's in it for these platforms? And the reason you're probably asking that is because people often think of these platforms as being only interested in themselves, which is true. And you might think of the platforms not liking us. But that actually isn't true, because they have something that they want to get, and they just want to get the best content in front of the people. So it's in their best interest that we make good content and that we put out content that allows them to do what they want to do. And videos keep people on the platform longer so that they can advertise to them and make more money. And it is also easy to put ads in a video. So clearly the platforms have an incentive to use video, and you have an incentive to use video as well, because that is the thing that's going to get pushed when you create it, right? So let's now jump into the question of, how do I get started with video? How do I get started with video? And let's take a quick look at the skills needed and the gear needed. Now, this is probably going to be the shortest section of the presentation here this evening, because I have to be honest, you don't really need much. And let's go through the list of it. These are the things you need. Skills, you need none. And gear, you need your phone. And when I say you don't need any skills, when you're first starting off with video, most people who haven't done it before have zero skills. They've seen it before, but they haven't done it themselves. You can actually start off at zero. And on the very first day of using your phone to capture something, you can produce something for your business that you can post. It does not take that much, right? And all you really need to do that is your phone. There was a time when you needed certain cameras, and there were point and shoots, and then there were DSLRs, which if you want to produce a certain quality in terms of production value in your content, you can do that. But for somebody who's just a SME, or they have a small business, or even the big businesses are using it as well, you can use your phone to capture content on a daily basis. You can just do that if you want to. So all you need is a phone, and only skills that you need to start off is none. Jump on the University of YouTube, look up the skills. There's lots of free training on there. You're going to get better at it really fast if you actually make the decision. What's more critical is that you make the decision that you're going to do it. You actually make the decision that you're going to do it, because your video just has to be good enough. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be good enough, right? And I want to qualify that, because sometimes when people say good enough, they don't tell you what is good enough. So I actually have a video here that I've inserted here on what makes your video good enough. So let me play that for you so you can understand. Hopefully, did I share my audio when I shared this? Hopefully I shared my audio.
Well, just press play. Let's see.
Let's see if I shared my audio. I don't think I did. Are you hearing that? Did you all hear that? I guess you're not hearing it, right?
No, but I could see the caption, so.
Is it okay to share and unshare, or are we not going to do that at this point?
You want to share the video? I mean, the audio? Yeah, go ahead. You could share and unshare.
Okay. Let me stop the share and let me share back, right? All right, and let me share again, like a stallion. And oh, it did it so fast. Let me do that one more time. Should be cool. Let me share. Let me put this toggle on and click this, and everything should be fine. Okay, good. We've seen it right now, right?
Yeah.
So let's go. No piece of content we make will ever be perfect. So we have to stop waiting for perfection before we release it. What we should try to do is get it to the point where it's good enough and then put it out. But let me give you a list of 4 things you can check on to make sure it's good enough. Number 1, is it easy to see, hear, and understand? Is the video clear enough for people to see? Is the sound good enough for people to hear properly? And if you're speaking in the video, are you speaking with familiar enough language so that people will understand? Number 2, does it highlight something your customers want to know, or does it offer a solution to a known problem that your customers have? Number 3, does your video have one clear point? Hopefully you're not going all over the place trying to explain something in your video. Number 4, does it deliver your intended message in the shortest possible time? When you make a video, it must have a goal, it must want to say something. Are you making the point you must make in the shortest possible time? And if you can check off these 4 things, then your video is good enough to release. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to do the job. And if this video does the job of encouraging you to release your videos, then follow me. Okay, great. So those are the 4 things that I believe is very important if you just want to make your video good enough. It has to be clear to see and hear. It has to deliver one point inside of your video. And the other points that I made, I can't remember them actually. That's why I actually recorded myself saying them, so I don't have to remember everything all the time. And so let's look at the 4 steps to shoot a video. Let's take a gander at the 4 steps to shoot a video. This will be very quick as well. And we're going to take a very complex process and we're going to make it very, very, very simple. What are the 4 steps to shoot a video? This is supposing that you have a phone, which is what you will need to do this. And these are the 4 steps, essentially, all right? And it might seem comical, but it's true. Grab your phone, point the phone at your face, hit the record button, describe what you do and why it's useful. That's all it takes. Grab your phone, point your phone at your face, hit the record button, describe what you do and why it's useful. Simple, simple, simple process. Because I've discovered that many people don't have a gear problem. What they have is a confidence issue. What they have is a thinking about what people will think. Many people think they don't know. Well, I've done polls on this on LinkedIn. Most people say, I don't know what to say. And then right after that, they talk about, you know, I'll feel stupid if I go on video. And people have put very specific hangups, but that's the bridge you have to cross in order to create the content. So let's just suppose now you don't want to put your face on video. You don't want to do that. You want to do something else. You want to create videos, but you don't want to put your face. There's a process for that too, right? There's also a 4-step process to shoot video without your face. This is a 4-step process. Grab your phone, point your phone at work you've done, hit the record button, describe what you do and why it's useful. That's all. If you don't want to put your face on video, that's all you have to do. Replace putting your face with showing the thing that you do or what you've done, and then you are good to go. And that's the simple process. More people have a confidence issue, a fear issue than they have a gear issue or an ability issue. But I do want to remind you as I come in for landing here, that if nothing else, I want you to remember that video is an equalizer. And with video, you can compete and be successful using the content. You can't compete and be successful using video content. And I want you to remember that. How much time do we have, Pauline? Hola.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, no worries.
I was on mute.
So what to sing?
You could go ahead. You have anything else to cover?
No, I have some videos I want to play, but that's going to take up some time. So I want to make sure that we have like at least a solid like 5 minutes.
Yeah, for sure. You could go ahead. Okay,
great. So let me just play some videos for you. Some of these are a little bit advanced, but they're all within the wheelhouse of video content creation. I'm just going to play that for you. I'm going to let the videos do the rest of my presentation here. Right? So let's go ahead with that. So let's look at 3 things to focus on to do better videos. Hey, Rox Designs, let me give you the cheat code. If you do this, you'll be better than everybody else. You want to focus on quality, consistency, and frequency. QCF in that order. Quality is not about the camera quality and the aesthetics. Quality is about making content that has a clear message for a specific group of people. Consistency is about meeting expectations, staying on message, and delivering the same quality over and over again. And finally, frequency is how often you post within a fixed period of time. So you have quality, you have consistency, you have frequency. Now, I don't want you to be worried. You can improve your quality and your consistency. Nobody has it right at the beginning. Everybody learns what to do. But you were asking about the frequency. Now, the frequency definitely depends on the platform. Each platform has a different thing to satisfy in order for the algorithm to respond to you. And depending on which platform you choose, you'll have to have a different frequency. In general, TikTok requires you to post at least once a day to gain traction. Although I see people post 2 and 3 and 4 times a day, that is not always necessary. Focus on the quality and focus on consistency first, and then worry about the frequency. Other platforms require different types of frequency in order for the algorithm to respond. But if you're posting on here once a day, good quality, good consistency, that's all you need. And remember, QCF, quality, consistency, frequency. Hope that was helpful, and welcome to the Useful Content community. All right, so that's one. Let me run another one for you real quick. 4 things you should do if you want people to watch your videos to the end. Number 1, make hooks that are related to the content in the video. For those who don't know, a hook is an opening statement in the video that is supposed to capture your audience. And I'll be the first to admit, coming up with good original hooks is hard. And using the same hooks over and over again is a sure way to make your content boring. Instead of doing that, look for one keyword or one interesting statement in your content and create a hook based on that. Number 2, make your video a story. People often just deliver information, but stories are an excellent way to captivate your audience. It turns the information into situations people can emotionally buy into. It gets you angry, it gets you sad, it gets you excited. And everyone wants to know the outcome of a good story. And people will invest in your story by sticking around till the end. Number 3, make it relatable. Telling stories is good, but telling stories people can relate to is even better. Here's what you can do. Focus on a known local problem or problem in your industry and talk about the challenges people may be experiencing with it. Then deliver the information you want to share in the form of a solution, and people will stay for the answer. Number 4, only make the video as long as it needs to be. While people will stick around for all of your video regardless of the time once the content is valuable to them, don't say something in 10 words that you can say in just 5. When you make your videos, be clear of the point you want to make and the message you want to communicate. And only say things that support that point or that message. And in so doing, you reduce the amount of time people have to spend to get value out of the content. And these are... Yeah, that was a looping video, so it cuts off right there. And I'll just play a couple more and that's it. So let's go with this one here. I think this is a great comment. Business is all about value exchange. You provide a product or service that solves a problem or fills a need, and you're financially compensated for that product or service. The big issue is how are you going to prove to someone that you can actually give them that value before they buy from you? And that is where your content comes in. You have to show the process. You have to have people come and talk about it and give social proof. You have to show behind the scenes, give insights, educate people, show them that you know what you're talking about. And that is why having content out there is very important, and why you have to be extremely focused when you're making content for your business. You want to be all over the place doing things that do not prove your value to people. So if you're on social media to enjoy yourself, no problem. But if you're on social media to build your business, follow me. And one last one. 4 things everyone should have in their videos, but often don't. Number 1, their thumbnail. Your thumbnail can be one of the most powerful parts in activating engagement on your videos. Because apart from the title, that's the first thing that people see that actually represents what they might see in the actual video. That's why I always say a thumbnail is a promise. So if you want to increase the chances of people engaging with your video content, include an interesting thumbnail. Number 2, captions. We've talked about this one a few times. I don't know if you've noticed, but all of my videos have captions, and that's not by chance. Captions not only give accessibility to the hearing impaired, but because more than 80% of social media videos are consumed with the audio off, captions ensure that people can engage with your video without having to hear it. Number 3, music and sound effects. When someone does decide to turn on the audio on your video, you want them to engage with that video and enjoy it. And while music and sound effects might not be appropriate for every video, music and sound effects text can affect the mood, stir emotions, and cause someone to look at your video longer. Just one word of warning, make sure the music and the video matches, or it can have the opposite effect of making them not want to watch it. Number 4, B-roll. B-roll is the secondary storytelling visuals of your video. Basically additional video that is overlaid on the main video to represent what is being said. And having B-roll will drastically enhance how you tell your story when used wisely. And bonus thing, brand identity elements. If you can integrate fonts, colors, a style of editing, or any other parts of your brand identity into your video in an organic way, this will make people more familiar with how your brand looks and will make it much easier for them to identify you the next time they see a video. And if you heard something on this list that you need to include in your videos, then follow me. All right. And the last thing I want to say, let me circle back around and say it one more time, that video is an equalizer. And a small business can compete and be successful using video content. And that's it. I'm all wrapped up and done.
Well, thank you so much for that, Juma. I'm just going to bring you in. Oh, I should bring myself in too. Okay, so we have some questions.
Stop the sharing, right?
Yeah, you can.
Stop sharing. Okay, let me do that.
We have some questions from folks who would have registered beforehand.
Ooh,
and I wonder if you could answer a few of them. I know some of them you would have answered with the presentation, but I feel like we need to really hammer down on some of these questions. So
sure.
When it comes to the length of the video, I'm seeing a question here asking, are shorter clips better? What do you say to that?
Okay, well, so you only want to make the video as long as it needs to be to make your point. So that's the first thing I would say. The second thing I would say is that you have the opportunity to train your audience to accept whatever you do once your content is useful for them. And so if you have longer format content and is appropriate in an appropriate place, like say YouTube or something like that, and that is what you are giving to your audience, but the content is filled with value, then you can afford to have a longer format content. But in general, you don't want to waste words, you don't want to waste time, you don't want to waste efforts. Keep the video as short as possible. I can't give you an exact time, but keep it as short as possible while still making the point that you need to make. And so in general, it kind of leans into the idea that shorter clips tend to be better.
Another question, which you kind of touched on, but I think the follow-up question is good. It asks, how often should I post? And you mentioned, it depends on the platform, but they went on to ask, how can I play around with format?
What do they mean by format?
Well, in the context of, I guess, the length of the video, because that was the initial question.
Right. All right, so it definitely depends on the platform, although all of the relevant platforms today support short form video. So we know Instagram is 1.5 minutes with Reels. We know that YouTube has Shorts. Of course, TikTok is TikTok, even though they've gone up to 10 minutes now in terms of the length of the video. And now just recently, Netflix began to put 1 minute shorts on their platform. And so we see that everyone is leaning into the short format content. And the question is how often you should post. Oh, that's the question. Let me say that. How often you should post is definitely dependent upon the platform. But I think what's more important than how often you should post is the quality and the consistency. Those are the two critical things. The frequency comes after. If you know your message, you're delivering that message consistently, that is the main thing. The frequency can come after. For TikTok, which I am on, I generally say like once a day is fine. That's for me personally. I've seen success with that. Some people say 4 or 5 times a day. It just depends on what you're able to sustain. You don't want to start off hot and sweaty and then crash. And you want to leave other parts of your life free to run your business, be with family, and all those different things. So you have to approach it in a really wise way. Do what you can do what you can sustain, and do it in a way that you can be consistent with it. You can do it at certain fixed intervals, and that goes for all of the platforms, whether it's Facebook, whether it's YouTube, whether it's Instagram. Do it at fixed intervals that you can support with your life and with your business.
I actually saw the head of LinkedIn content creator program use the word cadence, and I thought that was so interesting because as a cyclist, I was like, oh my God, yes, cadence. So it's basically, similar to what you said, only commit to what you can do, which a lot of us have overarching themes. Talking about myself, like I'm gonna do this every day. The lies.
Lies we
Okay.
tell ourselves.
Question: what software can you get to maximize the bang for your buck?
Oh, the free ones, of course. Listen, let me tell you. Undisputed, and they just released a desktop version. Undisputed free software, CapCut, undisputed, right? CapCut is your #1 mobile editor right now because they have so many good features built in, including captions. Now they have animated captions as well. You can actually, I think they can accept raw video. That might not pertain to everybody, but they can accept raw video too. And they have a desktop version now. So you can have the same app for free, both on your phone and on your desktop. So CapCut, undisputed. If you want to pay for something, if you have money to spend, or of course, if you want to pay something, I pay for something. I use Descript because Descript for me is very powerful and very useful because of how it edits the videos. It edits the videos by transcript, and like 90-something% of my videos have talking in it. So instead of editing by what I see, I edit by the words. I just delete words and it edits the video. And for me, that's very, very, very useful. And so I use Descript on my end.
Awesome. And another question has to do with specifically the iPhone 13. What free or inexpensive software can I use to automate captions using the iPhone?
CapCut. We have a CapCut clone called VN Editor. Those are free captioning softwares, and specifically on iOS, there's an app called Clips, CLIPS, Apple Clips, and that gives you real-time captions. When you speak, it just generates the captions, so you can record videos in real time and get captions. Yeah.
What do you mean?
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, what do you mean automate captions? You mean like inside of on the platforms themselves?
Yeah, that's what I was about to actually ask, because a lot of these platforms now, from an SEO perspective, is just automatically giving you the captions.
Yeah. Everybody except LinkedIn. It's sad. LinkedIn gives you
the new kid on the block.
Yeah, LinkedIn gives you on live shows though, but they don't give you automatically in videos. Every other platform does it automatically, so you don't really have to think about it too much. Except in the Caribbean region, TikTok doesn't give auto captions for some reason. Yeah.
Maybe it's our accent.
Or accents.
All right. So the final question: what are the key areas to focus on when creating content for small business or a startup?
All right. Well, first of all, keep it simple. Right? Keep it simple. You don't have to be too fancy about it. The main thing is to get the job done. Keep it good enough. So in general, you want to say, okay, so like when you're now getting started out, you want to just show how you help, what problems you solve, how you help, right? So you basically say, I do this is how I do it, right? And you want to focus the content on there. I think I just want to talk about some of those things. And keep it simple, show befores and after. If you're having like a service or if it's a product, you might want to just highlight that. You want to keep it very simple. When you really start getting into it, you can start to show your process. You can show people how to solve small problems themselves inside of the niche that you're in. So for example, if you are somebody who builds furniture and furniture can sometimes get scuffed, you may have a trick that you use to take out scuffs that somebody can do at home, which will be useful to them. You can show that particular technique, and it will help people, and they will say, oh, this guy knows, or this lady knows her carpentry or knows how to build stuff, and then they remember you for that, and you could also show what kind of what transformation your service can bring, what future state of life you're offering, what's good about it. Yeah. So for example, if you have a place that sells food, or if you have a water park, you want to talk about the experience. What is it it feel like and taste like and get people eating and stuff like that, and how why would somebody want to go on this particular slide versus something else, and you can show those experiences. And so that's kind of in the mid tier. And then in the last, when you really gain momentum, you want to have people come and talk about you, get some testimonials, you get some user-generated content, how people feel about the services that you offer. You can start to emphasize like very specific cases of you solving somebody's problem. And then you can be very, very deliberate about your call to action. So instead of saying like, follow me, comment below and stuff like that, you can say, click the link, go to my website, book a call, or see my bio and to get a discount XYZ. You get more deliberate about your call to actions at that point. So that's kind of the way to go.
Yes, I can attest as a consumer. Sometimes you just need to tell me what to do. My brain is so confuffled with so many things. If you tell me what to do, I'll probably do it. So yeah, tell me what to do. It's fine. All right. So any final words for anybody who may feel, you know, downtrodden, because it's quite easy when we're on social media to feel that you are not good enough, you're not capable, nobody wants to hear what you have to say. What advice would you give to that person?
Yeah. Listen, you have a voice, you have something important to say. Very, very, very important to understand that. I don't know. I'm a bit of an anomaly. I'm pretty overconfident. I don't know. I have to dial it back sometimes. But the thing is that you don't have to be like me to be successful. What you want to do is know what you have to say has value, especially Caribbean people. What you have to say has extreme value. If you've worked all your life, you've done what you're doing, you know what the thing that you're doing, have confidence in the fact that you have gathered all this skill, that you've gathered all of this stuff with you, and you can in fact do it. Most people who start small businesses start from zero. I was once there. I started from zero with just an idea and a thought and took a risk. But also it's important to have community gather around you too when it comes to doing your business and also creating content. If you find yourself in the midst of people who are doing great things and who you can bounce ideas off of, it really does help, right? Finding yourself inside of a creator community or business community, it really, really does help, because there are many things that I didn't know that I had to ask about, and there are many things that you would not know that you have to specifically ask about. And follow people with sense. Follow people who can actually help you. Unfollow some of those comedy channels and those other stuff that, you know, you might want to relax every now and again. Just go and check them out deliberately. But follow people who can actually give you good content and teach you how to do the things to grow your business. And you can actually do it. It takes time. It takes effort, but you can actually do it.
Thank you so much for that, Juma. And on that note, we want to say thank you for joining us today. Don't forget to head over to LinkedInLocalCaribbean.com to sign up to future events, as well as I put the link to our AC marketing page for you to look at past events, as well as we'll post this event once we have closed off this session. And you can go follow Juma Bannister on LinkedIn. You could just type in his name. Pretty certain he'll be the first person to show up, because I have so many videos on his profile.
Yeah, more like
the success of videos. Thanks again for joining us, and I'll see you soon. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody.